first migration to Ethiopia,
Prove that.
Abyssinia,
Prove that happened. Tell me
And
one scholar that
when
says that actually
they
happened.
went
Tell me the publication and tell me the
these
page.
new
You can't find
Muslims
this.
were chased by the pagan
Prove it.
mushrikun
Prove it.
to this land
Prove it.
of Negus.
Prove it.
And they wanted them to be returned to them.
Prove it.
Right? This king asked them,
What's his name?
what
Wait, it's the king, right? What's the king's name?
what is their crime?
So the king has
that
no
they have
name.
now come
So
here?
there's a nameless
Right?
7th century
Look,
Ethiopian
it's a
king.
historical incident narrated.
What's his name?
It's all around the village.
Tell us his name.
Right?
Tell us one
not
scholar
gonna deal with
that
Hitler.
says that
I
happened.
am taking you, Robert,
Tell us one scholar, even a scholar.
Do the diligent
So
research.
for example,
Right.
they don't even
So,
call him by his name.
when
They just
Negus-
call him by his title.
when
Imagine
the
if, for
Abyssinian
example, you
king
just called a king a
asked
king.
Abu
Like, that's his
Sufyan
name.
at that time. I'm giving you
Prove.
names.
No.
And
I
Abu
want the
Sufyan
name
was
of the
asked,
king. Because why do you know the name
you
of the
consider
person
him to be?
who went over there, but not
He
the king's
said,
name himself?
We consider
If that's the
him.
case, then the king doesn't
He
exist.
was a truthful individual.
There you go.
Look. Historical evidence.
Where?
Look.
What evidence?
What I am asking
But
you,
it isn't
what
hadith,
I'm
yes.
asking
It's
you
an hadith.
to understand is this.
It
Understand is
doesn't.
this.
It doesn't.
Is the Bible biased?
Oh look,
For
he's
any
jumped.
information.
He's
I'm
jumped.
I'm just
He's
asking
jumped.
you about
I am going to look.
No.
If you are
You're
going to,
here to preach
if you are
Islam,
going
so
to
we're hearing Islam
take
from you.
historical
So
evidence
please go ahead and then
for
give us Islam.
only from non-Muslim sources.
I
If
will
we
even take from a Muslim
use
source.
this principle,
Find me one single
and
Muslim
we
source
want to
that
know
tells you
about
the name of the ruler
from
of
non-Christian
Ethiopia at
sources,
that time.
You will have nothing.
I will
for
take
Christianity
even one
to back
Muslim
up about your
source. That's what I want to
religion,
know.
about your belief.
If you have
Because
Muslim
if I
sources,
ask-
give them to me.
Why does this guy act like a bastard master?
If I ask you, if we take this principle,
brother,
you can take
why
it.
you're not reporting him? They're like the Pope.
Look,
So-
they're fighting.
So what I'm asking,
There's trouble in Dawah Town.
Thank you, brother.
Look at that.
Good advice
Look at that.
to report him. So what I'm saying
Trouble in
is,
Dawah Town.
if we take this principle to know about historicity of Islam,
One interesting thing
we
to look
cannot,
at.
as you say, take the
if
hadith
you look here, these are
or the
all of the
seerah
different like
literature,
hadith books.
and we can only
Bukhari,
rely on the
Muslim,
non-Muslim
Ibn
literature,
Nas, Abu Dawood,
then
right?
we
You
have
can
to
see
then
that within the different
assess
books, they have a
every religion,
bias
including
for which
Christianity,
individual they want to
from
include. So, for
non-Christian
example, a
sources and
Sahih Muslim
non-belief
likes to
sources. Now,
include more. No,
do you accept that principle?
So if you took
every time he's a grown man.
historical information on non-Christian literature, you'd read that he actually got crucified.
You did. You would.
Which information?
Barama, for
By
example,
who?
would say that.
Josephus.
Interpolated. Even the Christians.
No, that's a lie.
Interpolated.
That's
You know
a
what
lie.
interpolated
That's a
means?
lie.
Corrupted.
Which portion of it? That's a lie.
and
There are
not enough.
portions that
No,
there are portions that can be
no,
historical,
look, I'm assessing your
including
information.
that he was crucified.
The evidence
so
that you
that
gave, I
that
didn't
actually
dismiss it.
is not the case.
I said,
yeah, you did. You
according
said the
to the
entire thing was
scholarship-
interpreted. Which one? Who? Name them. Name them. Name the page. See that?
Josephus.
You can't name it. There you
The
go.
historical account of Josephus.
The historical account of Josephus
Are you gonna
in
let me finish?
relation to the crucifixion of Christ
Can
can be
can I
historically
make a
attested
statement so
to.
he doesn't interrupt? Can he defend himself?
Well, you have to give us actually the name of the
So-
person and okay, go for it.
The manuscripts for the writings of Josephus
That come
in
from the
which
Middle Ages. Yep. Go
the
ahead.
manuscript, the writing
Okay.
about Josephus
The
was
originals,
supposed
right?
to be writing about Christianity,
No, he's not. He's writing. It's literally called the Jewish Annals. You
and
idiots.
he's
It's not
writing
Christianity.
about this individual who got crucified, as you said, right? That information. If he was writing contemporaneously, then you'd say
Well,
we have a credible
he was
evidence.
born
right?
in 37 AD
Look.
after Christ died. So like he can be writing contemporaneously.
When is the earliest writing of Josephus about that information? Which time period does it come from?
So you see how he's dodged, and that's
Look,
doesn't
look.
answer the question.
If you want
Because you claim that
documentary
Josephus
evidence,
wrote about
let's
it,
assess
and he says
documentary
the was interpreted. We're
if
not giving
I
evidence for it.
look, if I give you a
Where's
manuscript,
the evidence?
if I give you a book,
I need evidence, man.
does anyone have a copy of any book?
All I got is claims right now.
You're dismissing.
No, I'm
you're
not dismissing. No, I'm
Josephus.
not. Listen to
I-
me.
I need evidence.
Rob, listen.
I need evidence.
If I give you a book written yesterday, and
So
this,
again, he can actually
gonna let me
prove the
finish?
point historically. All he can do
Look,
is do an
are you
analogy,
gonna let me finish?
comparing something
Analogy
from
to
the
make you
modern
understand
time to something from the previous
that
time. But all you're
Josephus,
asking for
the
is
evidence
proof
that you
that
gave
apparently
me
him writing
is not
about
credible,
crucifixion-
because
okay,
this
prove
document
that.
comes
Prove
from
that.
What, it comes later.
much.
Prove
You
it.
know how much
like the
later?
hadiths.
Guess.
Like the hadiths.
Not guess. Have a guess.
Like the hadiths.
Well, I was going to say,
No, guess. Please guess, Rob.
you tell me.
Have a guess. 100 years?
So can I give you an
Let's say
example?
300 years.
No. Guess again. Later. 500? No, wrong. Guess
So
again.
here's what he's doing.
So now, Rob,
He's
What
asking
about
you-
the
wait.
painting?
Yeah, exactly.
What painting?
It was a
The
picture of
Alexamenos graphical.
Shroud of Turin?
and it had
No,
Shroud of Turin?
Alexamenos graphical.
Sorry, which one?
He doesn't know about it. 'cause
Hang on,
he's
which
an
one?
idiot.
Which one? No, which one? I'm not listening to him. No, I'm not listening to him. Which one?
So, Mansour, now
There
that I know
is
you're
no
listening,
non-Christian
here's what I'm going to show you.
historical
There is
evidence
something
about
from the 2nd
what you said
century.
about Christianity.
It's a piece of
Christianity will fall
graffiti
apart.
found in
you
Rome.
take this.
It's
So
called
now,
the
as you realize-
Alexamenos graphical.
So as I
And
now
what it
realize-
does is it depicts a person called Alexamenos
Let's
who
hear it.
is venerating a cross. And the person on the cross being crucified is a man with the head of a donkey. And the graffiti reads,
When is it dated
Alexamenos
from?
worships his god.
When is it dated from?
2nd century.
200
Therefore,
years later.
that proves
Is that good enough for
no. 2nd century is less than 100 years later. Is that simple? You're an
100 years good enough
idiot.
for you?
So it's actually
Hang on.
maybe about
Is
even
100 years
70
good enough
years
for you?
later. So therefore,
250 years good.
Hang on. I'm
There you go.
asking you,
That's
is
the
100
problem.
years good for you?
so you see, now he's jumped.
What I'm saying is,
No,
there's proof.
Now he's
we
jumped.
want to establish
Now
proof,
he's jumped
right?
again.
And evidence. Let's assess the nature of
He
evidence.
said that number
you
one,
accept
he said that
100
Josephus
years
was
is good for you?
What I'm saying
interpolated.
to you
Couldn't
is
evidence
it's
that.
evidence.
I
you
am
go.
saying you are accepting.
And now he's jumping
You
away.
are accepting
He's trying to basically
an
make you
evidence 100 years
concede
later,
that the
right?
earliest
But I would
extant
like you to
manuscripts
be an
of Josephus
objective,
are from the Middle
critical
Ages.
thinker,
That is true.
examining this
now,
evidence,
here's the other problem.
because I have not
For
heard
example,
about this
Bukhari,
at all, right? I've heard about
Yeah, because you're an idiot.
When we-
no, but Bukhari.
If you haven't heard about it, are you gonna be an idiot?
Wrote about like 100
him that.
years after.
Did you hear about it?
Compiled
Did you- no,
20 years
Rob,
later.
Rob,
But
did you hear
here's
about
the
it?
problem. He brought it
thing.
up.
I brought it up.
He's the whole brought up, you idiots. No,
You didn't even know
whatever.
these things, right?
Yeah,
didn't know.
he brought it up.
Yeah. Did you know the pharaohs were called gods?
He's,
You didn't know.
he's jumped. He's
You didn't
jumped.
know.
He's jumped.
Are you an
He's
idiot according
jumped.
to him?
Hold on a second.
Ask
Which
him, ask
pharaoh
him.
was called
No,
God?
ask him
Which
that.
one?
Be
Which one?
consistent.
Which
So
pharaoh
now
was
you
called God?
realize the reason
You
why we
idiot.
entertain-
Which pharaoh was called God? You
entertain this
liar.
individual,
You
this gentleman,
monophic.
as you realize,
You
is not
monophic.
speaking.
Which
So
pharaoh was
now-
called God?
So as I
You
to wrap
monophic.
this up,
Which pharaoh was called God?
this
There you go.
information
No,
doesn't
no,
stand up
nonsense.
to scrutiny.
Last
the only
one.
thing that's left
when
to
it
it
comes
is a
then
triple
to
verify.
Bukhari, the earliest
So,
extant
I've
manuscript of
established my
Bukhari
case
is
that
something
he can
called the
be a
Dublin
true-
manuscript.
He has to be a true
that
prophet of
comes
God,
from again the
and
Middle
he's a
Ages.
true prophet of God.
So the same
But
problem.
of course, Christianity is false.
No, it's not.
Do prophets have to line up with previous ones?
They do.
Which prophet said,
asking.
I am answering with one statement. Which prophets? Abraham, Moses, Jacob,
All of them.
Solomon, David said God is 3 in 1.
All of them.
None.
All of them.
You are refuted. He's refuted by his own argument.
Nope.
No. 3 in 1. No prophet. No prophet.
So
said
you're
God is
jumping
3 in
away
1.
from the fact
So you
that,
said,
for
you said
example,
it should be in
Muhammad
line
said
with-
that you
look,
can
all
divorce
the-
a woman
okay, look.
and she has to go marry
Three in
another
one.
man before he marries
It's
that
one
man again.
and three in one
That
the
is
same.
expressly discussed
Rob,
in Deuteronomy and
Rob,
outlawed.
Rob.
Muhammad says
Thereby,
you can eat
let me
camel.
just-
Not
it's
coming from
2
the
in
past,
1, the
ate
same
a
as 3 in
camel.
1.
Muhammad says that
What
you
is it?
can kill those who insult you.
No, we want to
That's not what they said either.
What I said-
Muhammad
no,
said, for
I wanna
example,
discuss
that you should worship a God that believes in
Because you said so.
that has 2 right hands.
So
You're asking me
I'm
No
I'm
one
just
from the past
giving
said that
you-
either.
no, let's
So
not
you're
talk
wrong
about
again.
belief. This is about this
He's jumping, by the way.
This is about this.
He's jumping. Because he's an idiot. He doesn't even know that person believes in one God.
Prophets, if a new prophet comes,
Yep, that's line up.
teaching must line up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So to
Which is why
understand
Muhammad
this-
attempts to
understand this,
legitimize
I'm
himself
giving you an
by
analogy.
referencing the
2
Injil
in
and the
1.
Torah. If Muhammad didn't reference those
Is it
2
same as
things,
3 in 1?
then he would have no way of
I
being
know,
one
I
God.
know. You said so many times.
You're going to now try
No.
and
I'm not going to discuss
Is this
logical
the same
problem of
as that?
Trinity. No, I'm not going to.
See that? He's
I'm
running away.
simply giving
because
you an
you brought up
example.
Muhammad and now he's running away.
2 in 1
so
is
basically,
not the same
by
as
this,
3 in
he's
1. Do you
implying
agree?
that in order for you to be a prophet in
Rob,
a tradition,
do
you
you
don't have
agree?
to line up with them. That's
Rob,
what he's
Rob,
implying.
Rob,
Which
do
is false.
you agree?
Because
that 2
why
in
is
1
Muhammad
not the same?
speaking about
Do you all
Jesus
agree?
and Jewish prophets?
2 in 1 is not the same as 3 in 1?
Why?
Yes.
It depends what you mean by that.
Likewise.
What do you mean by
4
that?
in 1 is not the
What
same
do
as
you
3
mean
in
by
1.
that?
Do you know why?
Explain.
Because they're not the same.
What, do you mean that
Likewise,
semantically?
likewise,
Sure.
likewise.
But what else you got? He's running
I'm not
away.
giving you Trinity.
He's
I'm not talking about
so,
Trinity.
so what 3 in 1?
I'm saying
Why mention 3 in 1?
3 in
If
1,
you're not referring to the
sure,
Trinity.
like say, like
in what instance would you
banana,
ever refer
apple, and
to
orange, 3 in 1,
what do you mean by
not
3 in
Trinity.
1? Wait, so you're talking about bananas right now.
Exactly.
So
Thank you.
what does a banana have to do with God?
30 seconds.
You're trying to describe the
Well,
No.
really,
I'm
you're
gonna
not.
tell you what, I'm
Wait,
gonna-
hold on.
that we believe in three
So
gods.
I'm
currently, you're not
So I'll tell you
attempting
what
to
I'm doing. I
define.
am not describing
So-
or debating Trinity.
So earlier
Thank
on,
you. I'm
you
telling
you
So
said
listen carefully.
that in order
Without
for a
interrupting.
prophet to be part of a
Three in
tradition,
one,
and they don't have to
likewise,
actually follow
is
a
not the
tradition.
same as
So that's
one.
why you're mentioning the
They're different.
Trinity, because
One
you're
is not three in
attempting
one. It's
to
not the
actually
same.
obfuscate and
So
claim
when
that because the
we want to
Trinity
know
is not spoken about in
teaching of a
explicit
new
terms
prophet
by British prophets,
is
therefore
the
you can
teaching of a new
believe that
prophet.
that prophet is in the same line.
Aligning
That would
with
then mean that you're making a claim
prophets.
that it's probably from
Islam
Muhammad
says
to
God
not
is
even
one.
adapt or be in
Abraham
line
says
with any
God is
prophets.
one.
Okay?
David,
And
wait.
Christians say God is one as well. Even
So
Christ said
now,
God is one.
the
And
Islamic
additionally,
teaching
the devil, by
is
the way,
in line
believes that
with
God is one too.
the previous prophets.
Well, no,
But
it's
when
not.
it comes to
How is
Christianity,
Muhammad in
God
line
is
with
three
it?
in one.
Because it copies
align
all
with
the
any of the
things
prophets.
from Jewish Judaism and
Sorry
Christianity.
about
So that
the
wouldn't mean
interruption.
anything.
I apologize on his
Yeah,
behalf.
but why
These
wouldn't you?
hecklers,
And
they're having
I
a life.
apologize that he talked
They
for
are
5 minutes straight,
suffering from
and then when you
inferiority
talk for 14
complex.
seconds,
Take care.
he interrupted
All the
you
best.
and ran away. All right, Mansour, you tried, but you can't win, unfortunately. So really quickly, it's very intriguing. It's very intriguing the way he interacted with you, because he mentioned earlier that, for example, you mentioned Josephus, for example, and Josephus, true, the earliest existing writings that we have from him, as in the earliest ones that are still in full or in part, come from way later. But clearly, they're not writing in the 1200s about a random Jewish rabbi, also a Jewish historian from the early 1st century. These are copies of things that deteriorate over time, just as we don't have any of the early Qurans that apparently are in the Hadiths. But the problem is twofold. You mentioned that the Hadiths are formulated 200 years later. That's very true. But what's even more true is that the earliest existing manuscript of the complete Bukhari that we have also comes from the Middle Ages, further along from Muhammad.
It's 200 to 300 years later when it's formulated.
And if you add the fact of an existing manuscript, then you get to like 1,000 years later potentially. Well, I'm sorry, you get to about 700 years later.
And they don't have a full Quran until 800.
Potentially even later, because even the one they claim that they have in Turkey, no one can go and see it. So how can you verify that it's 97% complete, the top copy?
Also,
Yeah.
if they want to say like 200, 100 years isn't good enough for it to be considered historically accurate, then literally any historical event that we've documented, earlier than say the 18th century is absolutely unqualified. Because when you look to Plato, all of the the Greek philosophers, etc., all of their manuscripts are in the same situation in terms of their age. So they have to either adhere to the fact that we have some sort of manuscripts within that time period, which would be considered historically accurate in regards to historians of the current day, or they have to say that every piece of history we have documented in manuscripts, other than maybe one or two things, is completely inaccurate and doesn't exist. It's up to them.
And there's something you mentioned that I really liked. You brought up the Alexamenos graffitos, and he said, I've never heard of it, because you're an idiot, that's why. So basically, I think it's very good that you brought that up, because if you hadn't,
So I don't want to be considered an idiot. Can you explain to me?
yeah, well, let me bring it up for you real quick. One second. Yeah, so this thing. So, exactly. So this is from the 2nd century. If Christ was never crucified, why would you mock Christians by claiming he was? Because apparently the Greek here reads Alexamenos, who worships his God, but his God is like a donkey man on a cross. So he told you that there was no outside Christian evidence of the crucifixion. You brought this up, and his response was, I haven't heard of it, and he jumped away with that. That's not good enough.
Oh no. Anyway.
In summation, people, my brother here, Raul, did an amazing job with Mansour. I appreciate you being so graceful with him, but I know Mansour for quite a while. That's why I'm a bit more rowdy with Mansour. Mansour is an amazing conversationalist. He will talk for 3.5 minutes, and then give you 14 seconds, and then interrupt you. He'll provide no evidence for any claim. But once you do, he wants evidence.
Yeah, that is true actually.
And he will provide the most lackluster evidences for a faith. A man predicted that a war would happen in a certain time period as proof that the man's a prophet. And then when asked about continuity, he effectively claims that continuity doesn't matter. Which is very interesting. So why then does Muhammad constantly refer to what came before? And everything he refers to, about 98% of everything he refers to, is just Jewish and Christian. So if he wasn't claiming to be in continuity, I mean, take this. He calls himself the final prophet, but not the first, implying that there is something that came before him. So what tradition is he referring to, and how can he prove that he belongs to it? He does, by the way. He does, by the way. Great question.
Well.
Love you, brother. Have a great one. All right, well, man, so come to Christ, man. Come to Christ. Come to Christ. Come to Christ, man. Come to Christ. Oh, boy. I love how Suraj then was like, why is he always interrupting? That's what you do.
You got your friend behind you.
Which one?